How's it going, everyone? My name is Falling Hurts, and today we're going to be doing a little bit different than how we normally do game videos on the channel. So normally we focus on one game per video, kind of giving you an everything you need to know, or potentially just doing a review. However, today I want to kind of do a summary of some of the games that I played during the Steam Next Fest, plus I'm going to throw in a few others that are just coming out relatively soon that I think you should keep on your radar. My name is Falling Hurts, and if this video is good for you, or if you found this from one of the mini shorts I'll be making out of it, consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and okay, so like I said, the Steam Next Fest just happened, and I've played a good bit of games from it relatively, but guess what? I have a 2-year-old, I have a job, and I had Stormgate to play. That was another thing. So, that being said, if I miss any, we'll do a second video at some point. It doesn't have to be Steam Next Fest or anything like that. Just games that are coming out, preferably not AAA games, that you're excited to see. But alright, without further ado, let's hop right in. Indica is one of the most interesting games I've ever seen. With a dark, gritty, and cold winter setting, you play as a nun, Indica, who has the devil on her shoulder. While I believe the game handles the usual third-person presentations well enough with environmental puzzles and exploration, what really gets me is the gamified collection of faith points. Finding religious artifacts and books adds to your score that you can choose how to upgrade. I assume your ending will be determined by how much faith you have at the end. Oh, and the music in the high-stress scenarios and those weird visions is super retro compared to the rest of the game's already beautiful soundtrack. And it's this mixture of genre and era of game design that has me really intrigued. Hollow Body is your answer to what Silent Hill should be. After playing the recent demo, I walked away more confident than ever in the developer, Headwear Games' ability to create a strong atmosphere. With hints of a techno future everywhere you look and listen, you're mostly treated to a very modern, run-down landscape, with provocative tragedy and powerful storytelling in the making. The lead for the game, Mika, also has a really strong voice acting, and that quality is present through the rest of the soundscape too, with the looming rain and other sound effects with the combat. The gameplay is pretty much what you'd expect, item and environmental based puzzles, and the one in the demo specifically is really great. I actually already have a full video on this game breaking down a lot more of what to expect and what you need to know, so go check that out. Raw Metal is a really slick stealth melee brawler from Team Crucible. You'll take control of one of the most badass looking player characters for a good mix of stealth, strategy, and savagery. With a top-down view, the stealth feels pretty well realized, with different lighting levels, fast and slow movement, and even gadgets that can help turn the tide of combat. Then, once shit hits the fan, and it will, you'll have to enter a third-person camera to fight one or many guards. The game so far strikes a great blend of being tough and making you feel all-powerful. The difficulty rewards caution, like only fighting one at a time or using gadgets. But when you land those final blows, and the full-colored screen just makes you feel so badass, along with these brilliant animations. With other features in the game too long for this segment, I look forward to talking to you more about it at release. Kayla is a party-based RPG where you command a group of 4 who have mixed and matched alignments and classes. It's also my 6th grade girlfriend. While I think the demo is quite rough around the edges with movement and combat, I couldn't help but feel the potential with the game. First off, it's medieval with a slight tinge of horror, so that's usually a rare mashup, and I hope to see more of that with the game. However, what sold me is the party dynamic. The ability to have a command over all of the party, even the one specifically you're controlling, and to swap player characters on the fly, and train between runs was really cool. Then sprinkle in some neat dialogue, giving it that ragtag group feel that every D&D campaign has, and even some choice and consequences. I think that this game has insane potential if it can deliver on these core principles. And while the setting is enough for me, I think what's really going to seal the deal is all of those elements. Silk Bulb Test is a single-player or co-op horror game where you explore mysterious, uncanny, or sunken places where the creatures, environments, and your own body want you dead. I just played the demo, and while it said this is mostly acting as an intro to the world and atmosphere and not wholly representative of the gameplay, what it does show is the developer's understanding of intense sound design and a really good grasp of lo-fi and body horror. You participate in basically a yes or no test where you're asked a bunch of "I'm not a robot" style questions, while voices whisper in your ear, enemies draw near, and the game shows almost my every fear. All of this together already combines into a short horror demo that you really don't want to miss, and I recommend keeping an eye out for the full game when that time comes. Serum is a survival game that has thrown its hat into the ring of games with timers. Don't worry, this isn't a hard timer, but rather one you need to always be consistent to keep up with. In it, you are infected. You'll need to be able to keep producing the serum needed to stave off the mutations. And as you traverse the ground zero, you'll find different biomes where you'll get stories, enemies, and puzzles. You can team up with up to 4-player co-op in the hopes of actually solving the clues of the past and escaping. My early takeaway is the game runs like a mail truck, not well, and the story, while early, is very engaging and well presented. What have you done, Father? Isn't what my daughter asks me every time I get a win in Fortnite, but rather a game all about religion. The demo sets up the short horror experience with a strong mystery and sex. You play as Father Matthias and you've succumbed to temptation. Now you'll reap what you sowed, and it seems to be a tale of intrigue and horror. I'm excited to see the twists and turns of both the game's story and that girl's body at full release. And maybe like REM, we'll all lose our religion. Chasmal Fear is a body cam horror game where you've been dispatched to reconnect with an underwater colony that's gone dark. The demo shows a strong atmosphere and understanding of a decent gameplay loop, but the promises of the Steam page and trailer have me even more excited. Multiple weapons, random encounters, a variety of enemies, and straight up good action and horror that you can handle alone or with your bestie in 2-player co-op. That sounds great to me. And when I believe full parties are too much, 2 players is optimal for horror multiplayer, and the random encounters of the game have me really excited to play this personally. Arcticide is basically what any single player would want from Escape from Tarkov, featuring similar inventory and looting systems, leaning and an attention to the sound that you need to make. Arcticide differs by focusing solely on those NPC enemies. And with procedural levels with different biomes, weathers, and day and night cycles, you'll have to focus on them too. Complemented by a distinct visual style, you'll find performance is hardly a concern with the game. You'll be more concerned by managing your hunger, thirst, energy, and other meters to make sure that you're in top shape to defeat enemies of all variety and escape in this gritty, roguelike FPS. Dread Dawn is an open-world zombie game, but it's much closer to Project Zomboid than Dying Light. In it, you're a student left behind on campus. Thankfully, you aren't the only one late to register, as this will act as your main base of operations and community. You'll be able to build it up after scavenging for resources, and there seems to be a story to follow. How compelling, I don't know yet. The top-down view affords a much wider view of the action, and while that viewpoint may be a turnoff for some, I think it works well due to the very beautiful art. The demo was a little rough around the edges, but I was super impressed how every inch of my screen was utilized to the fullest with moving objects and vibrant colors. Not to mention the wide scale of the zombie hordes shown, and I really enjoyed the taste of the party system from the demo as well. Summer House is a game that makes me wish I was rich. Not because I can't afford the game, but because it's all about designing your own summer house. The only goal is to do whatever you want. You're rewarded for placing certain objects like doors and windows with little guys that populate the house. But otherwise, this is completely a relaxing experience. There's no budgets or anything like that. With a wonderful art style of like a pixelated 3D with very warm and cool colors alike, the game is beautiful, and across the few maps that there are, you'll be able to build whole neighborhoods if you choose. As it's coming out very soon, I'm really excited for this game, and you should definitely check it out. Dungeonborn is basically Dark and Darker, but it's actually on Steam, with different classes and weapon types from melee to projectile to magic. There's the usual options at your disposal in a medieval setting. However, it's undeniable that the gameplay loop of an extraction PvPvE game goes so well with that RPG feel. The extraction points are portals out of the world and back to safety. Unless you've got a protective spell, however, you'll be revealed as soon as you begin opening the portal to leave, which is leaving you open for enemy advances. Though upon a successful escape, you'll be able to sell that high value loot and maybe make a few upgrades to the gear or yourself. But whether you play with solo or with a party, you'll be able to take on goblins, ghosts, and geeks in. Corpus Edax is one of those games that does so much but looks simple at first. Starting the game and creating your character, allocating skill points in a Fallout style system, and soon you'll find yourself in a world to call your own. You're in the city Corpus Edax on the planet Corpus Edax, and as silly as that is, the way you can express yourself in the gameplay is no joke. Skill checks and dialogue were already apparent in the demo, as well as a strong relation to parkour. Stealth and combat are also important, and the game seems expertly built around the potential skill sets and branching paths. Even the enemies are physics-based, on location, meaning you should sweep the leg. Other RPG staples like joining factions and reputation systems are here as well, and all of that sounds like a game that I need to play. Tales of Kenzaro, Zao, has everything to pique my interest in 2024. It's a Metroidvania-styled world where you play as Zao, who must collect the great spirits to appease the god of death to free his father. With that emotional center of the story, it's only fitting that through rich voice acting and beautifully stylized character drawings, that is the main form of story delivery. That's not to take away from the game's actual animations as well that take place in the vibrant levels that hold secrets to find and challenging platforming. Where I'm not quite sold is the fluidity of combat just yet, but with two forms, melee and ranged, along with any upgrades and modifiers, I'm sure it's only going to feel better the more you play. For this last game, I want to talk about a game that I've already been playing for review that I'm allowed to do a little bit of a preview for. And that's the Mobius Machine from Madruga Works. And in the game, you crash land on a planet after receiving a distress call. In doing so, you're going to expand your arsenal in many ways with different tools and traversal abilities, and fight different aliens and machines to actually make your way off of the planet. It's releasing on March 1st of 2024, and while I'm not able to give a review just yet, I will say that I do really enjoy my time that I've spent with it so far, and it's been growing on me as I play. And with that being said, that's it for this video. I didn't want to go too long, but there's a good list of games here that I think you should be looking out for. Some of these games' demos are still up as of right now, but some of them will have already ended by the time Steam Next Fest is done. Regardless though, you should go and check out each of these games if you're interested, maybe give a wish list that helps developers a lot, and specifically with the Mobius Machine right there at the end, you can subscribe to the channel and I will have a review the week of February 23rd, so next week. And yeah, that's really it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and goodbye.